what we have is we're talking about long sleeve t-shirts, okay? And this is coming right out of the Carnegie Learning Book for 8th grade from this year, 2019, 2020. Your school's parent-teacher organization wants to sell long sleeve t-shirts as a fundraiser. The business manager found a company that will charge $4 for each long sleeve t-shirt and a setup fee of $160 to create the design that will be placed on each shirt. The chairman of the fundraising committee suggests selling the long sleeve t-shirts for $8 each. The organization has asked you to help them analyze the production costs and the amount of money that can be made by this fundraiser. What I want you to do now is if the shirts are sold for $8 each, at what point will the parent-teacher organization start making a profit? Show your work, describe the reasoning you used to determine the answer. All I want you guys to do is write out an explanation of how you would approach this problem. Okay? Think about how you would approach this problem. To kind of help summarize, okay, it's going to cost the organization $4 for each shirt plus a $160 setup fee. Then they're going to sell each shirt for $8. Okay? Right? So how many shirts are they going to have to sell for those $8 in order to make back the money that they paid the company for $4 a shirt plus the $160? Okay, so go ahead. How would you answer that? Okay, so now we're going to break it down step by step. All right, what I want us to do is look at just one equation first. We're going to go ahead here and we're going to make an equation for how much it's going to cost our organization per shirt. Okay, so I'm going to let you know that we're going to need a variable, and I want you guys to use the variable T that will represent the number of shirts. Okay, what I want to have happen is write out an equation using the variable T that will explain how much it will cost the organization to buy the shirt. Okay? One thing I'm going to highlight here is if we're looking for an equation to represent how much the organization is how much it's going to cost the organization to buy these shirts, we want to look here. Okay, so it's going to cost the organization $4 for each shirt plus $160. So I want you to look there as you're making your expression. Okay, I like some of the expressions that I'm seeing here. We're using the 160, we're using the 4. Okay, I think if we're focusing on these 20 shirts, I think we're focusing on something that's a step ahead or something like that. Okay. All right. All right. Good. So I kind of liked what I saw, and I think that makes the most sense. All right. I think it makes the most sense for us if we go ahead and say, okay, so if I'm going to pay $4 a shirt as an organization, so that would be 4T, but also I'm going to pay $4 a shirt and I'm going to be charged an additional $160. And I'm going to call this, for us, I'm going to call this our cost equation. So the cost for the organization will be $4 times the number of shirts plus 160. Okay? All right. We're going to move on to the next one. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to write an equation to represent the organization's income from selling the long sleeve t-shirts. Describe what your variable represents. So again, we're going to use, I'm just going to tell you, we're going to use T for our variable for t-shirts. And we're going to be looking here. Our income is going to come at $8 for each shirt. So what is our expression, or what is our equation going to be? And let's do, this is income. So let's make this equation be income. Income using T as the number of shirts we sell. Got a few more responses here. Okay, I like this correction here. That's good. I think it's better to have that go with the T in this case for our income. All right, I'm going to send us back over here. So, yeah, I think the best thing is for us to identify that our income, and we were all pretty much on the right track for this, will be $8 times the number of t-shirts we sell. Okay, so 8T. That's what we'll end up getting. All right. What we have is we've identified two equations. All right. We know that our cost will equal 4T plus 160. We also have identified that our income is going to be identified by 8 times T. So 8 times the number of t-shirts. All right. Okay. So for here, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do our scale in 10. So number of long sleeves t-shirt, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, okay? All right, so each hash mark here is going to be 10, okay? And then each hash mark here, I'm going to make $40, okay? So with each hash mark being 40 on the y-axis, and each hash mark here being 10 on the x-axis, what I would like you guys to do is I would like to see you guys try and graph these two equations for me. Okay? So try and graph these two equations for me. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and, now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and graph these, right? Okay? And each of these are in our y equals mx plus b form. Y equals mx plus b. So slope, y-intercept. So for this first equation, all right, my y-intercept, right, my b is 160. So 40, 80, 120, 160. Okay, so if I have, even if I buy 0 shirts from this company, they're going to charge me $160 to make the design. Then my slope, oh, yeah, my B is 160. And then my slope will be $4 for one t-shirt, right? However, my scale doesn't have that. So what I can do is I can multiply both these by 10, and then my rise over one run would be 40 over 10, okay? And these are multiplied by 10, okay? So now I can do my slope, okay? So 40 and 10. 40 and 10. I'm going to go 40 and 10. So here is my line of cost based on the number of shirts that I'm going to buy from the company for our fundraiser. Now, I'm going to go ahead and graph this line. Well, if we don't sell any shirts, we will make $0 because this would be plus 0, right? So our y-intercept is 0 for this one. Our slope is 8 over 1, right? So my rise over run is 8 over 1, but I'm going to multiply by 10 so that I can make that fit my scale. So I'm going to go up 80, my rise is 80, and my run will be 10. Okay, so I'm going to go up 80, I'm going to go over 10. I'm going to go up 80, and I'm going to go over 10. I'm going to go up 80, I'm going to go over 10. I'm going to go up 80, I'm going to go over 10. And you can keep doing this. Okay, and now I'm going to have my line here. Using Pear Deck, this is probably a little bit tougher, right? Actually, using the computer, it is just very tough. Okay. I'm a little bit off there, but that's okay because the main point is there. Okay, so this line represents my cost. This line represents my profit or my income. Okay, so looking at this graph, I notice one thing. I'll notice one thing. They connect right here. Okay, that is their common value. Okay, that is their common value. So I can see that at 10, 20, 30, if I follow this line up, well, this is actually at here, it comes down to here, so 40. At 40 shirts, my cost and my profit are exactly the same. Okay, so now I know that once I sell 41 shirts, we're starting to make money. We're starting to make profit. Okay. All right. All right. Now, what I want us to do is I want us to go ahead and look at doing that mathematically. Okay. Here we graphed and we're able to notice where our cost and our profit are going to be the same. Okay, it's key because if this was a company, I want to know at what time I'm going to start making profits. So I know that I need to at least sell 40 shirts to break even. At 41, I'll make $8. At 42, I'll make $16. At 43, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So we can also do that algebraically if we want. All right. By just doing what we've been doing before and create an equation where we have variables on both sides. So if the question's asking me, hey, how do I know when I'll start making my profit? I would set up an equation that looks like this. I'll start making a profit once my cost and my profit are the same. Okay? Once my profit and once my income, my profit, and my cost end up being the same. Okay, so we can go ahead and solve for this now. Okay, this is a review from the past, so I'm going to solve by subtracting 4 on both sides. So we'll end up with 4t equals 160. And when I divide by 4, I end up with t equals 160 divided by 4. Well, 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I just do 4 plus 0. So it ends up being 40. So at 40 is when I break even. At 41 shirts, I start making my profit. Okay, so we can find the intersection point this way also. Okay, mathematically by solving for t. Okay, so that was a lot, probably all at once. Okay, but the key things that I want us to remember is understanding how to write our equations. If we need to graph, how to graph, and then if we need to solve it algebraically, how do we solve it algebraically? How do we solve it mathematically? Okay, so those are the 3 things that we've gone over today.